Hey there, today we're doing a review of the CabinZero military backpack. Here at Nomads Nation, we've been doing epic bag reviews for the past 6 years. And in this video, we're gonna break this bag apart. We're gonna fully pack it out, double check the advertised volume. I'm gonna give you my brutally honest pros and cons. And if you're not 100% sold that the military backpack is the travel bag for you, you're gonna wanna stick around to the end of the video, because that's where I'll make 2 alternative bag suggestions that are gonna be similar to the CabinZero backpack, but a little bit different so you can find the best bag for your needs. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the gist of the CabinZero military backpack. And I'm really excited about this because CabinZero is a really big brand, and this is our first time reviewing any of their products. And they're known for a few things. First of all, as the name suggests, CabinZero, they're known for making bags that are ideal for carry-on travel. And second, they've got a really interesting price point as to where they're not positioned as the most premium, neither are they the cheapest, they're sort of in that middle zone. And we'll talk about the price point for this bag in just a second. But first of all, let's run through some of its top features. As the name suggests, we've got a military-inspired aesthetic with 1, 2, 3, 4 MOLLE rails on the front of the bag. We've got 2 compression straps on either side of the bag, and one side also has a water bottle holder. And it's a very interesting water bottle holder. It's got a sneaky cool feature that I've never seen before. I'll talk about that 2 chapters from now. For the main compartment, we have a semi-clamshell style opening that stops right here. And then on the back, we got a really chunky harness system that features well-padded shoulder straps and a really well-padded back panel. It's got some great ventilation as well. And finally, this bag has the trifecta of comfort, where it's got load lifters, sternum strap, and a waist belt. Doesn't always mean the bag is actually comfortable to wear. So I'm gonna let you know if I think this bag is comfortable to wear 3 chapters from now. Now, the military backpack comes in 4 sizes. And this is the 44 liter, or at least that's the advertised capacity. But here at Nomads Nation, we always double check these things. All right, as you can see, we've got the main compartment filled with our factory grade measuring balls. Quick note, there is a front compartment that we did not fill out because this front compartment does not have its own volume, which means that once the main compartment is fully packed out, like, you're not getting any extra literage there. Now, before we check the capacity, let's double check the dimensions. And since CabinZero is a bit more of a European friendly brand, I'm gonna go anti-American here. We're gonna use CM, using the metric system. It's for my Europeans out there. But ironically, I think Brits use inches and not CM. All right, I'm gonna stick to what I said. We're going metric system, but we'll put inches on the screen. So we got 53 centimeters height, 36 width, and a fully packed out depth of 27 cm. Now, those dimensions are gonna be very important to you, especially if you are a European and you're looking for a bag that fits specific dimensions. So be sure to cross-reference those dimensions with whatever requirements that your airline has. All right, volume, let's go. All right, you can see here we're at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. It's actually a little bit smaller than I thought it was gonna be. So I think that if you got a little bit of space out of that front pocket, and if you count the water bottle holder, you might get 45 liters out of this thing, but I'm gonna say it's definitely closer to 40 liters. CabinZero claims the 44 liter version weighs 1.1 kg, which is verified by a scale number 1. And you can see I'm getting the exact same weight, 1.13 kg on scale number 2. As of recording, the 44 liter version of the military backpack comes in 7 different color options. This one is banging, it's Marrakesh. Love the color, love the name. Here is the 44 liter version when it's empty, and here it is fully packed out and worn on the Nomads Nation squad. Margaret's 5'2", I'm 5'8", and Jason Bagmoa is 6'1". And don't worry, we're gonna pack out this bag throughout the entire review so you can see exactly what it fits. Now, when it comes to their warranty, I'm getting conflicting information, because on their website it says there's a limited lifetime warranty, but on the tag that came with our bag, it says a guaranteed 10 years of use. So if the warranty is important to you, I definitely recommend doing a bit more research. And as of recording, this bag runs around 125 USD. Now, that price is going to sort of be our North Star for the context of this review moving forward. But if at any point during this review, you're thinking to yourself, damn, that bag is totally worth $128 all day. Hell yeah, I'm in. And you're gonna make a purchase. We highly suggest doing so with the first link in the description below. Reason being, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes, especially for CabinZero. But that link also helps support the Nomads Nation YouTube channel and team, so we can keep making the best bag reviews on the web. Thank you very much. All right, let's talk about the front of the CabinZero military backpack. Starting with the aesthetic, and like we talked about, as the name suggests, it's called the military backpack. So therefore, it's no surprise that it's got, you know, Operation Desert Storm military vibes, but I'd say Operation like Red Storm military vibes. I'll be honest, I'm not crazy about this sort of an aesthetic. The tactical look, it ain't for me, ain't my cup of tea, but this color red, it slaps. I think it's actually really nice. Now, there's a whole range of bags that have this tactical look, whether it's GoRuck, CT, King Kong tampers with it a bit. But the good news is that if you like the tactical look, there's a lot of brands that are doing it very well, and a lot of brands at very different price points. And we'll bring up a couple of those in the alternative section of this video about 12 and a half minutes from now. Now, one thing you're gonna want on any military style bag is a 1000D nylon. And that's exactly what this bag is using. Because the 1000D nylon is as f***ing durable as it gets. I love this fabric for so many reasons, minus one. You gotta love it for its durability, its weather resistance, it looks great. It doesn't attract too much attention, which is what you want with a travel bag, right? You're not trying to like go to a new destination and like have your bag advertise, I'm expensive. You want it to be subtle, under the radar. But the one thing that can kind of suck sometimes about a 1000D is that it can be a bit of a hair magnet and lint and dust. It's just the weave, the actual nylon, just that 1000D, it just like acts like hooks sometimes and can accumulate hair and like things that you just don't want in your bag. But the good news is that if you use a lighter color, it's usually less noticeable. But the black, that's when you can be like, whoa, that. So something to keep in mind. CabinZero's branding, not a fan of how big it is, but I do appreciate the fact that it's monochromatic, making it a bit more discreet. Now let's go ahead and talk about all this action right here. And this is Molly, or Molly loops, or Molly rails. It's a Molly system. And what this is a bunch of nylon webbing that gives you external lash points so you can clip things onto the outside of your bag. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, and on each row you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 external lash points, which if my math suits me right, that should be 24 in total. This is something that I personally get zero use out of, but for some people that like to clip carabiners on the outside, or you might even be able to find some third-party like lash points that you can clip on and carry like a jacket or a yoga mat. But I think more or less it's kind of acting as kind of just the military vibe, maybe less functional. Let me know, like in the comments below. Would you use the Molly system? Does this have functional value for you? Or are you like me and you're just like, I don't know what to do with that. All right, that's it for the front. Pretty fast chapter. Next chapter though, we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of this bag. Got a lot to cover. Let's talk about the middle of the CabinZero Military 44. Love these handles. We got 2 handles, one on the side and one on the top. I love them. They're beefy, they're strong. They got a little bit of padding underneath. They got nice space to grab. Like when I want a handle on a travel bag, I want it to be like this. And one thing to note about this bag is it just feels great from the perspective of its durability. And a lot of that is the 1000D nylon. Like when you touch 1000D nylon, you're like, whoa, that's one heavy duty fabric. But I'm just gonna give CabinZero credit. I mean, they've been around for, I think, a couple decades at this point, and I think it's a testament to the quality of their bags. Like you can just see with the stitching, with the fabrics, with the build quality, with the way these handles are constructed and how they feel, it just feels like a really durable bag. So I'll give CabinZero mad props for that. CabinZero also works with Okoban, which is a third-party company that helps with tracking. So if this bag gets lost, you got a little help from Okoban right there. And then on the flip side, we have a water bottle holder. And I'm gonna show you how that works when the bag is fully packed out in just a second. But before we pack the bag out and get into the main compartment, let's talk about compression straps, which are these buckles right here, which by the way, who makes you? Oof, Duraflex. Are these YKK zippers? Awesome. I mean, CabinZero is busting out all the punches. Duraflex hardware, YKK zips, 1000D nylon, like this is like really high quality materials across the bag. But compression straps, again, something that I'm not super crazy about, but I do quite appreciate what this bag is doing, is to where it knows what it is. It's not the gimmick bag, it's not the feature heavy bag, it's the, I'm one bag traveling through Europe, and there are strict requirements that I need to hit, both on weight and on the depth of the bag. And that's what compression straps allow you to do, is reduce the depth of your bag, which is very handy when you gotta, stick the bag in the cabin, actual like square bin to meet those carry-on requirements. But it's also nice if you're at your destination, because then you can squeeze in the bag a little bit and use it as like a lower profile day pack. But I don't think you're gonna do that with the 44 liter. If that's something you're interested in, check out the smaller version of this bag. I think the 28 liter would be awesome for that. But one thing I hate about compression straps is, especially with these, they're completely interfering with your ability to get into the main compartment. And it doesn't have to be this way necessarily. It does with this bag, but they designed the bag in such a way that they don't infringe upon the zippers opening and closing. Unfortunately though, you don't have that with this bag. So every time you want to get into the bag, if you are using the compression straps, you gotta unbuckle them and rebuckle them. And it's a small thing, it's a first world problem, I get that, but it will get cumbersome over time. And you know what else is gonna get cumbersome? Why in God's name didn't CabinZero make this full clamshell style opening? So as you can see right here, this zipper actually comes down a little further and this one's a little bit higher, but it's a bit of awkward kind of non-full clamshell style opening. I guess in some ways, if you're afraid about things falling out of your bag while you're getting in there, this can hold things at the bottom, but more or less, not a design choice that I'm crazy about. But I do like this number 10 YKK zipper. Should be a number 10. It's so chunky, it just goes, yeah, you're number 10. It just goes so well with the 1000D nylon. It's a vibe. And what else is a vibe is the interior color in this bag. I actually quite like it. It's sort of like a clay. This color is not too light as to where it gets dirty too fast, but not too dark as to where your bag is just a black hole. It creates a bit of a highlight effect, which makes it easier to find what you put where, which is much appreciated. I think that the fabrics are okay for the price point. These are not like premium internal lining fabrics. They don't necessarily feel cheap, but you know, they're not luxurious, but you know, at 128 bucks, I'm totally okay with that. But one important caveat is that the different external colors of the military backpack come with different internal colors. So be sure to check that out on the website. I do love me this main compartment though, because it's so simple. We have a little sleeve in the back right here, a lining zippered pocket, and a mesh zippered pocket. Let me show you how it all works together by packing the bag out. Now starting with this back sleeve, because I think this bag is pretty dope. Because I get asked all the time, Aaron, I want a great travel backpack, but please recommend me one that has no laptop compartment. I don't travel with a laptop. I'm going for leisure, not for work. I meant leisure, not luxury. I was close. So I think CabinZero is gonna be a great option for that, because you can see back here, we have this sleeve, which in theory can fit up to a 17-inch laptop. This is my Asus VivoBook, but it's not gonna be fitting that very well. I mean, we got padding on the back, obviously, with everything that's happening here, and a bit of a false bottom. So your laptop's gonna be, you know, pretty safe here, but it's not a real great laptop bag. Now, if you double wrap your laptop, you put it in its own case and put it in there, I think you'll be fine. But this is definitely not a tech bag. So for those reasons, I'm not gonna put any tech in there. I got your standard size packing cubes. You can see we're gonna fit these with plenty of room to spare. Depending on how you pack, I think a 44 liter is great for your typical 1 week trip. But here's what I love about a bag like this, is this simplicity is gonna pay you dividends as to where you can fit more stuff. Now, if you have a bag like yesterday, we reviewed a new Packed bag from a company called Packed. And it's a great bag, but it's got this center divider and all these pockets and stuff, and all these different things is more fabric, and more fabric equals less packing space. But this dude is just a beautiful open crevice, and this is how I like to travel. I don't need complications and features. Make it easy for me. You can see I got my packing cubes, tech pouch, shoes, sweater, and that's about it. And oh my God, I just realized I forgot about that front panel. Let's talk about it real fast. So now that the middle main compartment is fully packed out, you can see what I mean with this front compartment, which I'm not too crazy about. One thing that's nice about it is it's very well hidden. So well hidden that me, on my 700th bag review, I just totally skipped it. As to where it's concealed by this front flap right here. And then when you get in, it's an interesting panel because now that it's not fully packed out, right, the main compartment still has a bit of room. And that gave us a bit of volume in this front pocket, which means that you can use it for your totally awesome new bomber jacket from Cuts. Maybe even throw like your headphones in there, but it's just a compartment that you can use for quicker access. Now let me show you how the compression straps work, right? Let's say you're going on an airline that gives you this much space, but your bag requires this much space. Then you can say, depth, be gone! Cinch it down on both sides. This is where I think the compression straps are kind of overrated because you're not really cinching it that much. I mean, how much depth did I just save there? I don't know. I think compression straps are kind of like old school, kind of lame, but I'm open-minded to the fact that I could be wrong. but how much profile did we actually save there for all that agitation to get into the main compartment? Now let's talk about this water bottle holder, because I think it's actually quite good. Now here's what's interesting, is you have a buckle right here. I've never seen this before, but I like it. And the buckle keeps the water bottle holder nice and flush when you're not using it. But then when you got your 1 liter Yeti, you can unbuckle it, slide your Yeti on in, and then here's where compression straps become double useful. This will absolutely slide out, because actually the water bottle holder is a little short. I mean, I don't love its height, 7.5 inches. We got a bit of elasticity, but this water bottle is gonna be sliding all over the place. Unless you take this compression strap, you can weave it on through, and then your water bottle is ultimately secure. And you can even double up and use the bottom compression strap. Now that's a use for a compression strap that I totally get, that has undeniable functional value. This water bottle is significantly more secure than it was before. Final note in the middle of the bag, this is not a great self-standing bag. It's not designed to be or advertised to be, but in case it's important to you, CabinZero definitely went with more packing functionality than like flat bottomness, which means it's probably gonna be toppling over, which can be irksome, but shouldn't be a deal breaker. And real fast, I gotta say, if you're enjoying this review and all my like philosophical bag nerdery, and you're new to the channel, I wanna A, welcome you, and B, tell you that if you're really into gear, particularly bags and travel gear and EDC gear and everything that's carry, then you might be happy to find out that here at Nomads Nation, we don't just do epic gear reviews on our YouTube channel, but we also have the Nomads Nation newsletter. And if a YouTube video is where we take a microscope on a particular product, the newsletter is where we go 30,000 feet out and look at the whole industry. So in the newsletter, I'm delivering right to your inbox the biggest drops, coolest industry trends, limited edition collabs, plus access to our discounts and giveaways, all of it wrapped into one beautiful email sent to your inbox once a week. I'm really, really proud of it. So if you want to keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening in this incredible community, be sure to look for this globe emoji in the description below. Hope to see you in your inbox. All right, let's talk about the back of the CabinZero military backpack. One thing that's not in the back that I really would have liked is some sort of hanging hook right here. Those are just nice when you are at a new bathroom. Not like it's like a new shape, but like it's a new location and maybe the bathroom's not in the greatest shape. And a little hanging loop right here can just make it easier to hang your bag. Sometimes these work, but sometimes the loops are very small and you can't get it there. So I always appreciate a small little hanging loop on a travel bag. But what's not a miss with this bag is its comfort. Actually, wait, before we go into comfort, let's talk about one more miss. So where there's no luggage pass-through holder on this bag. But also, I like that because I think CabinZero has made their positioning and their beliefs pretty clear. They're all about one bag travel, fit in your bag in the cabin. So they're really stuck by that because it wouldn't have cost them much money or extra work. They could have just put like a loose strap of nylon, stapled it in, and then you could, in theory, just slide your bag over. But they said no. They said, we're not doing that. This is a one bag travel bag. So that's gonna be a bit of a deal breaker for some people, but what won't be a deal breaker is the comfort. It's a really comfortable bag, especially at the price point. Look at all the chunk-liciousness happening on this back panel, on these shoulder straps. Shoulder straps are the most important thing. The width, we're looking at just under 3 inches. That's just right around where you want it to be. But the depth is just as important. And this is coming in at just a little over 1 cm, right where you want to see it. But it's really the combination of all these things. Padded shoulder straps, padded back panel, and well-ventilated back panel. But then you got the load lifters, which do that. And then the sternum strap, which does that. And the waist belt, cherry on top, does that. And then when these 3 things are combined, it's a lot less pressure on your lower back. Now, here's the deal. The waist strap is more like a belly button strap. A little high, I understand that. But CabinZero was kind enough to keep our dangle protester, his name's Dan, keeping him happy. And CabinZero is doing a great job of giving us dangle stoppers on the sternum strap and on the hip belt and on the shoulder straps. God, I love that. A lot of brands at this price point will be like, dude, we don't do that. We can't afford to give you web holding dangle stoppers. CabinZero proves that that is a lie. And just overall, I'm just really impressed with this. I mean, you know, we are cutting corners. We got cheap webbing here. And the mesh itself is quite coarse, a little, you know, it's scratchy, right? So if you're going to use this bag on a tropical destination, you're backpacking to Southeast Asia for your first time. You know, you wanna rock your tank top with the Thailand elephant on it, then this is just gonna leave your shoulders as red as the Marrakesh color of this bag. But honestly, I think it's fine, all things considered for the price point, and that should do it. Now let's wrap up all this and discuss the overall pros and the cons of the CabinZero military backpack. Pro number one, value. This is a very, very well-built bag at a very accessible price point. Pro number two is the simplicity, which means that the bag can pack more and it's lighter weight. And pro number three for some people out there is the lack of a tech compartment. Because if you don't travel with a laptop, the tech compartment can easily take up 3 or 4 liters of space by itself, and it's just a waste. CabinZero has got you covered for your leisure trips. Another pro is the comfort. This is a really comfortable bag. But on the flip side, I'm gonna turn that pro into a con. For some people, the lack of decent tech protection might be a deal breaker. Con number two is how the compression straps restrict access to the main compartment. And con number three is the lack of any luggage pass-through holder will be a deal breaker for a lot of people. So let's take all those pros and cons, mash them together, and give you my overall scores. For the comfort, I give it a 4 out of 5. This is taking the price point into consideration, but God, I love me some load lifters. Just love them. It might be a perfect score if the mesh was a little less coarse and if the hip belt was maybe a little bit better positioned, but for the price point, can't complain. Number two, value. I'm gonna give this a 4.25 out of 5. It's definitely in the conversation with some other bags like Tomtoc and BagSmart, where they're offering it not at the lowest price, but around that 100 USD to 150 USD range, and just really delivering for what they're charging you. And my overall score is gonna be a 4 out of 5. It's a great bag. Love it. I don't vibe with the look, but from a functional perspective, it knows what it's doing. I love how lightweight it is. And comfort, dude, like that's the most important thing. If it's not a comfortable bag, what's the point of any of this? And just keep in mind that those are my personal opinions on this bag based on my usage. Your results may vary. But just a reminder, in case you are interested in picking one of these bags up, we do suggest doing so with the first link in the description, because that link just makes sure that you get the best price, and if we have any discount codes, that's what it'll be. But if you're not quite sold on the CabinZero, let's talk about the alternatives that I teased earlier in the video. First up, if you're new to our channel, you should definitely check out the Nomads Nation leaderboard rankings. In this video, myself and the other members of the Nomads Nation squad, bunch of gearheads, we get together and talk about our favorite bags. And we have 600 of them in this office, so we've gotten to test the best. And it's a great video because you can see different use cases and what the best options are on the market. It's a must watch if you haven't seen it yet, and I've gone ahead and linked that above. But if we're pretty close with the military bag, here's my 2 alternatives. First, the Tomtoc Navigator T67. This is a great pick for you if you're looking for a bag that isn't necessarily tactical, but around this price point, but like a really high quality for the price point. I think Tomtoc is possibly the best value brand in the carry world. It's an incredibly well put together bag, and it's like 110 USD. And my second alternative suggestion is gonna be the Osprey Daylite 26+6. This is a legendary bag. And as the name suggests, it's a 26-liter bag that can expand 6 liters to 32 liters. Those measurements, though, are off. We double-checked them. It's closer to like 22 to 30, somewhere in that range. But it's an iconic travel bag, and it can do so much, and it's also only $100. It's a bit smaller than this, but it's definitely gotta be on your radar if you're looking for a great one-bag travel pack. Honestly, all 3 bags are amazing. They all got their own unique set of pros and cons. You just gotta figure out which pros and cons fit your needs. And to learn more about the 2 alternatives, just go ahead and watch these videos right here. If you got any questions about any bags, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Aaron, this is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.